hope your coffee's strong today, because we're going to get into something a little bit more serious than I normally do over a cup of coffee. I've got a file here on the computer because the question arises, why do I reject the decree Rubricarum Instructum in the 1960 calendar? A simple answer would be because I don't think John XXIII is Pope, or was Pope. I think he's the second anti-Pope, John XXIII, in history. And I could leave it at that. But there's more to Rubricarum Instructum. Now, I have read the full decree. I haven't looked recently, but no one's really published it online, you'd think, since it's the basis of both the Society of St. Pius X and the indult masses under the various indults, which are based upon the, quote, Mass of John XXIII. Because I remember when they first came out with the indults, I was asking, well, what is the Mass of John XXIII? Because you've got Rubricarum Instructum in 60, which changed the calendar. You've got the insertion of St. Joseph in the canon, I believe, in 62. So, what is it? The Mass of John XXIII. And it was years before I actually got an answer to that. But I reject Rubricarum Instructum for a more important reason, which is buried in a decree, a supporting decree found here in Canon Law Digest, which is why you probably don't know about it. And I'm not surprised. Why should you know about a supporting decree when even the decree Rubricarum Instructum is not on the internet, to the best of my knowledge? And so I'm going to quote from this supporting decree from the Sacred Congregation of Rites dated February 14, 1961. In preparing or revising the historical lessons of feasts of whatever class, the following should be observed. C. The commonplace should be avoided. False or inappropriate passages should be deleted or corrected. If historical data be entirely or almost entirely lacking, lessons from the common should be assigned, or some other more appropriate text from the Fathers should be chosen. What we need to do now is read between the lines on this. What are they saying? Okay? What they're saying is that the church is lying in the lessons in the divine office. The commonplace should be avoided. False or inappropriate passages should be deleted or corrected. The church is lying to you. That is basically, in so many words, what this is saying. And can the church lie to us through the sacred liturgy? Well, I have here in my file a quote from Pope Pius XII from Mediator Dei. For this reason, whenever there was a question of defining a truth revealed by God, the sovereign pontiff and the councils in their recourse to the theological sources, as they are called, have not seldom drawn many an argument from the sacred science of the liturgy. For an example in point, our predecessor of immortal memory, Pius IX, so argued when he proclaimed the Immaculate Conception of the Virgin Mary. Similarly, during the discussion of a doubtful or controversial truth, the Church and the Holy Fathers have not failed to look to the age-old and age-honored sacred rites for enlightenment. Hence the well-known and venerable maxim, Legem credendi lex statuit supplicandi. Let the rule of prayer determine the rule of belief. The sacred liturgy, consequently, does not desire to determine independently and of itself what is of Catholic faith. More properly, since the liturgy is also a profession of eternal truths and subject, as such, to the supreme teaching authority of the Church, it can supply proofs and testimony quite clearly of no little values towards the determination of a particular point of Christian doctrine. Now, let's go back. A supporting decree to Rubricarum Instructum says, in essence, the Church can lie to us. Now, it is my opinion Rubricarum Instructum itself and the revision is based upon this modernist principle. That modernism basically holds truth changes. I can recall a little over 30 years ago, I had an interview with the religion editor of the Topeka Capital Journal about will the Catholic Church survive the 20th century. And we went round and round. She was modernist as all get out. I didn't quite understand at the time. I'd read Pascendi in about 87, 88. I reread it in 93. When I reread it in 93, I realized I'd been dealing with modernists. So I have nothing against changing the calendar. Pius XII did it. St. Pius X did it. They did it around the time of the Council of Trent. I have read articles saying we need a revision of the universal calendar of the Church. But such a revision needs to take place on Catholic terms, not on modernist terms, as Rubricarum Instructum, in my opinion, it was done. Now, the same statement is also found in the Vatican II Constitution on the Liturgy. As regard the readings, the following shall be observed. The accounts of martyrdom or the lives of the saints are to accord with the facts of history. Historical truth should be attended not only in the lessons, but also in the antiphons, hymns, and other parts of the office. If there are any such proper parts, otherwise these parts should be taken from the common. And Vatican II Decree on the Liturgy goes further. To whatever extent may seem desirable, the hymns are to be restored to their original form, and whatever smacks of mythology or ill accords with Christian piety is to be removed or changed. This is modernism. Okay? The seed of it was planted in an obscure decree in 61. The spirit, I believe, was already there in 60, underlying Rubricarum Instructum, which is the main reason I reject it. Even if I thought John XXIII was Pope, which I do not, I would believe we would have to reject this decree because of the modernist principles upon which I believe it was based. This modernism is buried in a supporting decree. But looking at the changes in Rubricarum Instructum in 60, which is the basis of the John XXIII Mass and Breviary, modernism was there. It was in 61, and we find it in the Decree on the Liturgy, which is why we have to reject that decree. Now, of all the traditionalist bishops, Lefebvre, de Castromayer, Took, and Mendez, to the best of my knowledge, signed that decree. It passed with only 4 dissenting votes. And none of the bishops in question have claimed to not sign the liturgy decree. Lefebvre has claimed not to sign 2 other decrees, which claim, to the best of my knowledge, from the circumstantial evidence I see, I accept. But the liturgy decree is modernist. Well, when you sign a heretical decree publicly, and I've just shown that it is heretical, you commit notorious public heresy. And what is more public and notorious than participating in a general council, or what appears to be a general council of the church? And so all 4 of those bishops became modernists in 63, the fall of 63, whenever that decree was signed. It might have even been early winter. I'd have to look that one up. All 4 of those bishops became heretics by signing that modernist decree. Yes, there are other things I have against that decree, but this one point is sufficient. And this spirit, I believe, underlied the Rubricarum Instructum revision in 1960, which is why I reject that, mainly. And so, I didn't take too many sips off my cup of coffee. I think I'm going to make it stronger next time.